And we're live. Oh, it popped up. Twitch is working. I think we're good.
Awesome. Yeah. No, we sound good too. Let me mute us though.
Oh, too loud. Oh, yeah. You don't need to hear
No,
us.
you're fine.
You can hear
No,
us fine.
fine.
Bam. Watch and see if the audio is good.
Oh, Kyle says it sounds good.
Oh, you do? Okay. I pulled up Twitch and it says, you're live right now. It's like, oh, thank you.
Just so you know.
Oh, thanks, Kyle. Oh, you already said thanks. Lisa's got it.
It's okay.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Lisa. How you doing?
Hi, Paige. I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. I'm
excited for our slumber party. Woo woo, jammies.
I know, right? I should have made popcorn. I forgot again.
We thought about it. We were at Hobby Lobby and we saw this like popcorn kit thing, and I was like, we should do popcorn. And I was like, I know, and then we didn't.
Oh. You didn't buy the thing. Oh, you were just looking at it and thinking,
yeah,
popcorn.
Yeah, because they had like all the different like shaker flavor powders.
Oh yeah. We were just talking about that, right? The butter. Put in the butter on the popcorn in the movie theater.
Oh yeah, the liquid stuff. But this was like a powder stuff. And one time we had gotten this like jalapeno cheddar, and I was like, ooh, that should be really good. We put it on, and we were like choking on it. Like there was no way you could eat this without it like burning your nostrils and your throat, and we were like wheezing and hacking, and we were like, okay, we can't do that.
No, that sounds awful.
We're a little bitter over it.
I bet. Oh, hey, Savannah. Welcome.
Hi.
I love your little Sam Hears emoji.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Isn't that cute?
That's adorbs.
His heart's running away. It's me. I'm running away.
I guess because it's so small, it looked like I don't know, like, do you remember in like the Looney Tunes Merry Melodies, the chicken hawk and the little chicken, like the little chicken? That's what it reminds me of, the little acting like a little tough guy chicken.
That's who. Oh, I was thinking of in Looney Tunes, the big red-haired guy that's covered in hair, and Bugs Bunny makes his life hell.
No, man, that's not it.
He's like a monster thing.
Yeah, he's like the red monster. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot his name though.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't think he could talk or anything. He just had big eyeballs, and he looked like Cousin It, but red.
Yeah, I forgot what his name is.
It looks like that now that you mention all that. Like, oh yeah, I can see that.
But it also makes sense what you said. The heart running away. That's very cute.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you could make it, Savannah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for joining us
for our March sleepover.
Should be fun. And I think we still have one of your dreams. I need to interpret it. I think we have it in our email. I should pull that up.
Yeah, Savannah, if you want to hang out for that. We could pull it up whenever if you're going to leave later. Let us know.
Let us know when and we'll tackle it.
This is free form, baby. We could do whatever we want.
That's right. Okay. All right. Well, I have it pulled up for whenever we're ready for it. And I hadn't ever pulled it up before, and I see that there's attachments, and I'm like, they say there's timestamps, so hopefully you'll be able to keep it in order. I'm like, okay.
Oh, good. Okay.
So we'll try. We'll do our best.
I hope so. No, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Cool. Oh yeah, no rush. Okay, Savannah, let us know.
Cool.
You gotta head out. We can pull it up. So Lisa, as I mentioned before.
Yes.
Oh, look at you. Here, let me get my. Cheers, darling.
Cheers, my love. Oh, and then a skull too.
Yeah, I got, this was Lisa's Christmas present to me. It's a skull cup, very kick-ass.
I need to get me one now.
Yeah, you do. This is like, I think this is the first time I'm actually using it.
No, you used it before.
Have I? Okay, maybe not then.
I think you put tea or something. I can't remember what it was, but you used it before because I was like, cute.
Yeah, it's a really cool cup.
I would say that because I picked it, but
I mean, it is. It's super cool. But yeah. So I was telling Lisa before we started streaming. I'm sorry. I keep looking at my new circle light because I think it's going out, and it's like I just charged it up. So thanks a lot, Wish. What did I expect? I don't know. Anyway, I was just telling Lisa that earlier today I had a really weird feeling and it's kind of lingering. So we're going to be talking about that today. And we're going to be talking about the movie that I watched right before I got the weird feeling.
OMG. And you know what I realized is we probably should have told more people about the movie because now we're just gonna give full spoilers, and I'm like, oh, now I feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, we told people on our stream last week, but you're right. I mean,
But we didn't tell them what movie it was. We said we're gonna be talking about a movie.
oh,
Remember?
yeah. We didn't say
I didn't.
specifically.
Now like I said, now I feel kind of like a jerk. Be like,
You're not a
need to.
jerk.
I need to pull up a little thing that says spoilers, spoilers, spoilers.
I guess we could set something like that up.
Yeah, it's all good. No worries. Hi, is it Durlock?
Durlock. Hey, Durlock.
Durlock.
Ooh, first time chat. Welcome to the stream. Ghosts are breaking your light. I know, Savannah. They're mad at me for, I don't know,
What are they
being
mad at you for?
disrespectful as usual.
I thought Sam was a deterrent.
He is. Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe Sam is the one breaking it.
Maybe Sam's the problem. Maybe Sam's the drama. No, I'm just kidding.
Sam is drama.
Is it me? Am I the drama?
Am I the drama?
Yes.
But yeah, the movie we'll be talking about today, we're going to review it a little bit, just to chit chat about it, called The Vast of Night. And Lisa, can you guess what song gets stuck in my head every time I think of that title? It's okay, I could give you some hints. It's from a cartoon. It's from a cartoon movie, like a musical.
Dark of the Night from Anastasia.
Yes.
I got it right.
Yes.
I got it right.
In the dark of the night, evil will find.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad. Okay, when you said at first I thought that, then you said cartoon, and I'm like, okay. And you said musical, I'm like, okay, I got this.
Oh, it's totally that one. Yeah, Christopher Lloyd singing.
That was Christopher Lloyd. That was an all-star cast.
It was an all-star cast.
John Cusack.
Yeah.
It had Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan was
It had
Anastasia.
Kelsey Grammer. It had.
Oh my God, I forgot
Grammer,
about Kelsey Grammer. Yeah.
It had. Was it Angela Lansbury that did the grandmama's voice?
Yeah, I think it was
And
Angela
then
Lansbury.
Hank Azaria did Bartok the Bat.
I forgot that he did Bartok. Oh, Bartok is so cute.
Oh, me and my sister love quoting him. We're like, I'll give him a ha and a hi-ya and a ooh-ya and I'll kick her, sir.
Classic Bartok.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love him. He's so sweet.
Man, Fox should have made some more cartoons. That was a good one.
It was Fox. That's what it was. Oh.
Yeah, it ain't Disney.
So
That's
it
the only
could
one
be
they've done.
on Disney now, because didn't they buy Fox? I thought they did. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I've not seen it. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too. I have no idea. I know there was some conglomerate that bought Fox, and I was like, now they own everything. So I think it's Disney.
Maybe Paramount?
Maybe Paramount. Yeah, they've got Paramount Plus now.
That would. Oh, also, what was I gonna say? Shit. Do you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Have you seen what's it called, Free Guy?
No, I haven't watched it. It's Ryan Reynolds though, right?
Yes, and like I couldn't really tell much from the commercials. I couldn't even tell what it was about, so I was like, I don't know what this is. It looks silly. But then my sister said, watch it. It's really funny. It's about Ryan Reynolds plays like a background, or what's it called, an MPG, a non-player.
MPG. Oh,
MPG, non-player. Ask Sam. He's right behind you.
Oh yeah, Sam. What is the? I don't even know how to describe
NPG.
NP something like a game term for characters that you're not playing as. NPC.
NPC. Thank you.
I knew it was close. I knew we were close.
And I say MPG. I don't think that's right. NPC. Non-player character, I guess. Playable character. Thank you. But yeah, that he plays a non-playable character in a video game world.
Oh,
and then,
dude.
Then he like self-actualizes, and it's awesome. And I didn't realize it was put out by Disney because there was some swearing. like it's kind of rough for Disney.
Oh my God, they're starting to get rough. Okay, I'm here for it.
But it was really good. Like Kyle and I were laughing. It was very fun to watch.
I gotta watch it. Savannah agrees with you. Says it's a good movie.
That movie, and then I also liked Ready Player One. That was
Did you
kind of
like
a
that one?
fun. I did.
I haven't seen
It
it
was.
because I didn't know. I was like, I don't know.
I didn't know either, and then we finally watched it, and I enjoyed. It felt like a little too long. Like they
Oh,
could have cut some bits out, but I mean, it was a very enjoyable movie, and I liked the video game references in both this movie and in Ready Player One.
and like fucking Wreck-It Ralph was another fun video
Yes,
game
yes.
one.
This felt like Wreck-It Ralph. What did I say, Kyle? Like Wreck-It Ralph meets like The Matrix or something like that.
My
That's what
God.
Free Guy was. It was good. It was really good.
Wait. Savannah said they didn't enjoy it because it's a ripoff from a book series called Otherland. Is it this? Is that the movie you're talking about, Savannah? The what's it called? Good Guy or something?
Free Guy
Free
or
Guy.
Free Guy
Oh,
or Ready Player One.
Ready Player One. I think that was a book called Ready Player One, Savannah. I'm not sure. I didn't read it. I heard about it and people are like, why don't you try it? You love video games. And I'm like, I don't know. I read Lord of the Rings. If you're into reading sci-fi and enjoy Ready Player One, I highly recommend Otherland. Oh, okay. Ready Player One is a ripoff of Otherland. Okay, so if you like Ready Player One, you might like the thing it was ripped off of.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Cool. Okay. All right. Isn't also Ready Player One? I remember someone saying in the movie they've got like Steven Spielberg movie references, like Jurassic Park and no.
I can't remember.
Okay.
I'm really bad at remembering things from movies, like really, really in quotes from movies. Like somebody will quote something like, "You saw that movie?" I'm like, "Yeah, but didn't think to memorize the whole thing." I mean, it has to really stick with you to,
Oh,
you know.
same. If it's funny, I'll remember it.
Right. And even then, like I just have a shit imagination, a
No,
shit
you
memory.
don't.
I can't remember the right words to say.
Now, yeah, memory, but not imagine. You've got a good imagination.
I'd like to think so.
The book is a poor imitation of Otherland. Basically, you can tell the author didn't really bother. Oh, that's hilarious. You know,
Mhm.
it sucks, but shit like that happens.
Yep.
Okay, so Lisa, would you like to talk about the Vast of Night? If my topic has to come after Vast of Night, just because that's
Okay.
when it happened. Not that it's necessarily connected, but anyway, so we can talk
Uh-huh.
about Vast of Night. We do the game, or we could. Is there some other thing? Oh, face masks.
Yeah, I got mine ready.
Cool. Me too. Did you get a sheet one?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's no
But
big deal.
it's okay. I have this,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna apply it with a kitchen spatula, so I don't get my
Nice.
fingers dirty,
That's
and
awesome.
then I will have to run to the bathroom to wash it off, but if we do it kinda, like, halfway through, by the time we're done, we can end it, I can go wash it off.
That's a good idea. Okay, so we'll save it. I've got a sheet one. It's a mermaid.
Aw, cute. Man,
I
I was so mad because I really wanted like, the kitty cat one or something to match my
Yeah.
jammies. I don't know if y'all can tell I got kitty cat jammies on.
Oh, we're a little zoomed in, but I see the kitty cats on your shoulders. Oh, Loki. Just in time to see some PJs.
I can't see what's cut off right now, so I don't know what y'all saw.
I saw everything, Lisa.
Well, all right.
Hey, Loki. Welcome to the stream. Nice to
Okay,
have
what's up?
you. We're about to. Oh, we haven't
About to
decided
ruin a
yet.
movie.
We're about
I
to
think
ruin
we're
a movie. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys are interested in getting a movie ruined, hang out. It's
yes, we're gonna
called.
talk about. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's The Vast of Night. It's an
Mhm.
Amazon original,
Mhm.
and it's okay. Do you want to go first
Okay.
with your review? Because you're okay. So Lisa recommended this movie, and that's go ahead, Lisa.
Okay, so I recommended the movie. It is an Amazon original. It got a 6.7 on IMDb and a 92 on Rotten Tomatoes. So that's pretty good for
Oh,
Rotten Tomatoes.
I didn't know that. I'm not
Like
surprised
it,
though.
okay, so should we talk about kind of like the plot and
Sure.
then give what we think about it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I've got it pulled up. Do you want me to go for it?
Yes, I mean you take it off. We'll go back and forth. It's all good.
Okay. So the plot. The plot
Synopsis.
is one night in New Mexico in the late 1950s, a switchboard operator and radio DJ discover a strange audio frequency which could change the future forever.
Forever.
Forever. Now, I don't know if that's a good description, Lisa. Do you?
I think that's a good description, and in the way of it doesn't give anything away.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. And it's just that last part, change the future forever, that I'm like, that's pushing it a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
fine. It's fine. I'm
Yeah,
just being
I don't think
picky,
it changes anything. I mean, it changes your perception maybe of things.
which is fine. It's totally fine.
So like the movie starts out kind of like it's a knockoff of Twilight Zone. They call it the Paradox Theater, and it's like you're sitting in a living room and you're looking at kind of an older TV, and it's like they go through like the whole spiel like they do at the beginning of a Twilight Zone, like you're entering a door that leads you to another door, and we don't know what's behind door number 3, but it could be anything. It could be a ghost. It could be a spooky floating like it could be
A
anything.
big
Anyway,
eyeball.
exactly. So it kind of starts like a Twilight Zone, and it's like you're watching that, but then it fades into watching like a regular movie.
Mhm.
And throughout the movie, it kind of fades in and out where it's like it kind of pulls back and you remember, oh, I'm supposed to be watching like a fake Twilight Zone. It does that a couple times. So I don't know why they did it like that. It was, I mean, it didn't, I don't think it took away from the movie. I think it was kind of fun and made you remember, like, hey, this is all meant to be not real or set like in the real world necessarily.
Yeah. Yeah. And it sometimes it even when they were doing it's like I said in the synopsis, there's a radio DJ. And in the sometimes when he was broadcasting, the screen would go black. Like you could just hear as if you were listening to the radio. So yeah, the medium they like, oh, this is the medium right now, so you can't see it. Or the medium is the television show that you're watching that's like Twilight Zone. And it would go black and white and fuzzy, like, oh shit, okay. And I think it added to the eeriness.
I think so too. And it just kind of brought you back to that nostalgia. Also, that it was set in like the 1950s. That helped.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm just kind of walking through kind of like what happens. So, they introduced the two main characters. There's Everett. He's the radio DJ. He's pretty young. They live in the small town called Cayuga. I think I'm saying that right.
I think so.
It's
I
in New
think that's how they
Mexico.
said it. I'm just gonna pop this light on.
Cayuga, yeah, you're fine. And he's called to the high school where they're having the basketball game, and everybody in town is pretty much at this basketball game. Like this is the place to be on this Friday, Saturday night, wherever. And they have the little band, and they have the little cheerleaders, and the switchboard operator. Her name is Faye, and she's 16 years old. She's in the band. She's kind of a nerd. And something I noticed about Everett, the radio DJ, he is very charming and quick-witted and smooth. Like, and I would think he's only maybe 18, 19, 20.
He wasn't much older than her, I don't think. Yeah.
I don't think
19, yeah.
yeah, I would think, yeah. But everyone seems to know him and like him. Everyone seems to know her. I mean, I couldn't really tell if everyone liked her or not, but she was kind of like her own little person, and she was like super cute. I adored her. She
Me
was kind of a
too.
science nerd.
You know what? It
So
seemed
anyway,
like a real small town.
yes, that's what I was thinking too. Small town. Everyone seemed to know everyone. Like
Hmm.
as they're walking around, they're like, "Oh, hey, how's your mom?" Like, "Hey, how's this going?" Oh, and something funny that really pointed out that it was a small town is when the character Everett, he's going to the high school basketball game just to help with some kind of electrical issue. And as he's going there, everyone says, "Yeah, like the scoreboard keeps flickering. Last time it was a squirrel up in there and was chewing through the wire, and they found the skeleton of the squirrel with this wire still in its mouth." And everyone's like telling the same story
Yeah.
a couple times, like,
With
"Oh,
just
did you
little
hear?"
differences. Like, but I
Yeah,
heard it was
little
chipmunk.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, okay, so this is probably a big thing to tell in this town because
Yeah.
nothing is going on in this town. It's a little quiet, sleepy town. Oh, who knows how many people? Not many, because, geez.
Yeah.
But
Everybody knows each other's first name. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly, and everyone's business. So I mean, it's a small town, and word gets around, especially when a chipmunk or a squirrel bites through the wires, and the skeleton's still found with the wire in his mouth. Like
That's so cute. That's
it
such a
just
cute
really,
story.
it was a cute story, like a little morbid, but kind of funny that everyone was like, there might be another squirrel up in there. Last time I was like, yes, yes, we all know, we all know.
Yeah. And Everett, the charismatic radio DJ, you could see
Mhm.
him almost rolling his eyes like, I've heard this before.
Like everyone knows, you had to say it. You had to say it.
Gotta say it.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
but so he's kind of a I don't want to say like a tech nerd, but he seems to know a lot about electronics. He works as the radio DJ and he knows all the equipment. And he has recommended to Faye, the 16-year-old switchboard operator. I guess she probably works nights, like after school or something. And he had recommended a tape recorder, like with a little microphone. I remember having something like that when I was a kid, like a little Fisher Price Play School one
With
where
the
you
microphone.
record and the little
Yeah.
microphone it would record. So basically she has one of these and she's so excited to show him. She's like, I got the one you recommended. I saved up all my money. I got this. I'm so excited. And I can't quite figure out why she wanted it, but she just did. I don't think she ever mentioned why
Yeah.
she got it.
No,
But
and she was kind of apprehensive about it. It was almost like she was more excited to show him that she got it than she was about
right.
the thing itself almost.
That's what I think too. Like,
Mm.
but whatever she was going to use it for, she was enjoying like she hadn't used it yet, and he's like, "Well, you've had this thing for like a week, and you haven't even pressed play." She's like, "Well, I don't want to mess anything up." He's like, "Well, let's play around with it." So they're like talking and recording. He's gonna walk her to her job, and then he's gonna go back to the radio station and do his job. Um, and throughout the whole thing, I couldn't tell like I don't think she necessarily had a crush on him,
Yeah.
but she definitely liked him and valued his opinion, and I can't really tell if
Yes.
they were much of friends before this happens. I think like I said, everyone kinda goes to him for, like, tech advice, like, as
Hmm.
tech as you can be in 1950, whatever,
Yeah.
but, but, like, like I said, he's friends with everybody, it seems, so they both seem very comfortable talking to each other, um,
Yeah, they might
but
have
yeah.
known each other for a while, but maybe they weren't like intimate close friends. And
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but he
mhm.
was so nice to, like, she's like, "I'm gonna have to go to work," and he's like, "Alright, well, I gotta go to work too, but let's walk and talk." Like,
Mhm.
cool. Like, I didn't get Big Brother vibes from him necessarily, but I didn't get romantic vibes either,
I
somewhere
didn't
kinda in
either.
between.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like they enjoyed each other's company. They both could bond over the fact that they wanted to kind of get out of town. They didn't make it a
Mhm.
big deal. It wasn't like the plot of the movie, but they
No.
mentioned that they would like to
Mhm.
go to college and get out of the small city, and he wanted to
Mhm.
go to LA because that's where radio was getting big.
Mhm.
And
She said he asked her, like, about college, and she's like, "No, I'll probably just go work somewhere with a bigger switchboard, like, I could do that," and he's like, "No co" he kinda pressed, he's like, "No college?" 'Cause, she's into the science and the tech and stuff like that, and she's like, "No, there's no money," and he's like, "You can get a loan," and she's like, maybe," like,
that kind
I
of,
like that he yeah, got her interested a little bit more because I think she had resigned to not
hmm,
being not going to college, but, I thought that was kind of a sweet push. "Okay,
yeah,
like, you're a smart kid."
you could figure
So,
it out. You could work it out. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
think it was probably harder back then, but also you could still make things happen
Oh,
if
totally.
you wanted it. So as they're walking, she is telling him about some interesting things. They just wanted to record. Like they just wanted to have something to talk about to record. So he's asking her questions and she's telling him about these articles, which I thought were very interesting. And I don't
Yes.
know if they were real or not, but I thought they were cute. They were talking about cars that drive themselves that have this thing where a voice will interrupt your radio show to tell you where to turn.
Yeah. Yeah, this is your exit coming up. And he's like,
Mhm.
no way. That's not gonna happen.
He's like, "A voice is gonna come up? Hmm." And then, also another article said there will be these vacuum tubes which people will travel through by the year 2000. Now, I don't know necessarily if that one's true, but they were talking about going cross country. I think there is talks of it still now, but I don't think in the way that they were describing it. I was like, okay, that one, as far as I know, hasn't happened. I mean, there are subways and stuff like that, but that's not quite what they were talking about.
Yeah.
They were talking about going like 5,000 miles an hour
Oh, yeah, like the
across
one in
country or
Japan.
something.
So there is one, but it's not
Okay,
here.
yeah, and it's not underground
I
tubes
don't think
either.
so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Could be a Futurama reference. That'd be cool. Um,
Mm.
and then the last one was a phone. First, it started out when you're born, everyone's assigned a phone number.
Mhm.
and that's your phone number for life.
Yeah, it sounded
And
like a social security number. I was like, damn.
that's what I thought too. I was like, okay, so like kind of like a social. And then they said that on these phones, you can call someone far away, and there's going to be a little screen where you can look at their face
Yeah.
in color and talk to them. And if they don't answer, they're dead. And
You'll
he's
know
like,
they're
why are they
dead.
dead? You'll know they're dead. Well, because they didn't answer and they always have their phones with them. And I thought that was just a clever little nod to current day. Like,
Like
I
fucking
know, like,
cell
when,
phones.
yeah, like if you don't answer your phone, people are like, are you dead? Like, you always have your phone on you. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know, right? If
Hmm.
anybody calls me and I don't answer, I'm not dead. I leave my phone on silent 24/7, so I never know if someone's calling me.
Same. Same. My sister makes fun of me. She's like, you don't ever answer on the first try. I'm like, sorry, I like to have it on silent. I do other
Yeah.
things.
I don't want my fucking email buzzing at me every 2 minutes while I'm
Hmm.
studying. It's
Hmm.
just stupid. So I leave it
Yeah.
on silent. Not because I don't want to talk to people.
But you also screen your calls.
I
It's
also
fine.
screen
I
my
do too.
calls. That's true. Especially if it's like spam likely. I'm like, I don't have to answer that one. Thank you, Apple.
Right? I'm like, just text me. Like, there's not a lot of times where I'm like, a call is necessary.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
Exactly.
So, anyways, they talked about these things, and he was very nice, and he kind of like humored her, and then he's like, all right, well, I got to get over to my job. He drops her off at hers, and she's working as like the telephone operator.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah. She takes over for a lady who is already
mhm,
there. I
right.
love their little conversation. They talk about the
Hmm.
squirrel too, I think.
Yep, they do, and they talked about the boys at the basketball game.
Yeah. They're like,
And
they're gonna
how
get beaten, aren't they? Like they're gonna
Mhm.
lose.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I gotta look at those boys when they got off the bus. When they put their jerseys on, they look like adults, and they're like, that we're gonna lose.
Like,
It
oh, we're
was
gonna
pretty fun.
lose. Yeah.
So, so Faye tunes into Everett's show, which starts a few minutes after she gets to work, and as he starts the news portion of his radio show, which he mostly just plays music, but as he's talking about kind of like some current events, it starts getting kind of staticky, kind of garbled, weird noise. Um, and then the phone rings and she picks it up and it's also that same kind of garbledy, staticky noise. I hope y'all can hear that.
I don't think so. I didn't
And
hear it. It was like, womp, womp, right?
I heard like kind of like a
Like a helicopter?
kind of with a little bit of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
some
It was just
clicky
kind of like,
noises.
yeah, clicky
There's a
noises, static,
Yeah, there's a couple different noises in
Morse
it.
code, kind of like, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. And it was
Very
so,
strange.
so creepy.
Mhm. Very creepy. And then a lady calls and says, there's a and she hears the noise in the background and the lady's kind of shouting saying there's something over our land. It's kind of like a tornado. It's kicking up the wind.
Hmm.
We're all going down into our like storm cellar.
Call the police, something like that.
Call
Like
the
send
police.
somebody, I don't know, something
Hmm.
like that.
And it really kind of disturbed me that it was like she called Faye tried calling like the sheriff and the deputy and like one other person, and the other person that answers like, oh, they all had to go to some emergency or something like that. I was like, is there just three of them? And they're like, well, everyone else is at the game. Like, you can go to the game and see who's there, and it's
And
like,
it was like, as soon as they leave the station, you can't even talk to them. So it's such
yeah,
a weird concept. I mean, having been in a world where there's cell phones since I was 14, at least. I mean, that
yeah,
I had a cell phone. I know there were cell phones around a long time before that, but
right. But I mean, not everyone
not
had a
everyone
cell
had
phone.
one. Yeah. And so back
Exactly. I
then,
remember. Yeah, that was like you either got them on the phone or you had to go track their ass down.
yeah, yeah, you're like, I guess I'll find them tomorrow or something.
Yeah, exactly. And so all the phone lines start disconnecting. Like she tries calling like her friends that's babysitting her sister, and the line cuts out. The line cuts out a couple times on different phone calls, and
Throughout the movie, it was freaking me out,
mhm.
man.
Yeah, yeah. That it made me wonder, like, who else is listening on the phone call that
Yeah.
says that we should not be talking. That's kind of what I thought at first. Like the government's listening in and they're
FBI,
trying to drop these calls. Yeah, maybe
CIA.
FBI, CIA.
Yeah. I didn't think that. I was thinking like bad signal, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That could be too. Yeah.
both.
Um, so because it happened on the radio show, Faye calls Everett and plays him that sound, and he's like, "Oh, I've never heard that, but everyone must have heard it because it went out." So whenever his song ends, he puts that noise on the air. He's like, "Hey, everybody! I know most of you are at the game, so there's only 5 of you listening. If you can you help us identify this noise? And whoever can identify it, what was the prize? If you do you remember, Paige?
Yes, you
What
get
was it?
a swatch of Elvis's carpet. And it was like, what?
Yes.
I
I was like, "Huh?"
like, how'd
From
they
his,
get that?
yeah. Yeah, I thought that was so I guess Elvis was already dead at this point to get a piece of his
No.
was
No,
he still
he
alive?
died in the 70s. So I think I
Oh,
don't
okay.
remember specifically, but he said something like, oh, yeah, somebody snatched it from his house when he changed his carpet. But
Oh, okay.
this is
Okay.
later in the movie, but he basically just says, like, we'd already given away all the pieces of carpet we had. We just give away like somebody else's carpet
Regular
and
carpets.
call it Elvis's, and
That's
everybody
right,
gets
okay.
excited.
That must have been a point where Boo was barking or something, I didn't
Probably.
catch that part, but yeah, so I thought that was a funny prize to give away. I mean, usually you get concert tickets, but you can
Yeah.
get a piece of
You get
Elvis's
a piece of
carpet.
Elvis's carpet. I know. I don't know. If someone was like, maybe back in the day when I was really into NSYNC, I might have called in if I could get some of, somebody's carpet in NSYNC. But now I'm like, I don't know who you could give me a piece of carpet of that I'd be excited about.
I'm not sure carpet will mean the same thing.
Mm, wink.
I mean, just like a sip here. Anyways,
Sip, sip.
okay, but then this is where the movie starts getting really interesting. I think it's where it's kind of starts picking up, and your brain's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? First of all, I wanted to point out that so everyone's at the basketball game at the high school. The main street I'm thinking is
Mm-hmm.
where Faye works, and it's dead. There's just like street lights, no cars, no shops are open. It's just her, all
Mm-hmm.
by herself, a 16-year-old by herself in this little switchboard operator room.
Yeah. And it
Hey,
doesn't look.
Xeroxia.
Oh, hey, Xeroxia. Make a patchwork of famous people's carpets.
That's awesome.
Sell it on eBay.
Uh, will do. But yeah, so the town is just dead, and she's all by herself.
No calls,
And
not a lot of calls coming in. At least I didn't seem like it. I mean, I've never worked
yeah,
at a
not at that.
switchboard. So,
Yeah, and I guess I don't understand. I guess back then you had to call the operator and then get connected
that's
because
what it
she'd say
seemed like.
number please, and I guess you can't dial directly, or I don't know. I have no idea. I guess I could have researched that, but I didn't. So
I don't know, man. I've seen those in TV shows and movies, like those
uh-huh.
switchboards where they're like taking and plugging it in. And watching her do it was so fascinating because I was like, I know she has no idea what this is. She had to learn what it was to make it look like she knew what she was doing. I was like, damn, sounds boring to have to learn to do that.
Only time I can think a switchboard would be useful is um, gosh, what was I watching? I don't know. I think it was Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and
Hmm.
the first season she goes to work for the switchboard,
Oh,
or
really?
second season she ends up in the switchboard operator room at a department store, and people
Oh,
would call the
right.
department store, and she's like, okay, what department or who are you looking for? And then she would connect them.
Hmm.
But I don't know how it would work in a city. I don't know.
I don't know.
Unless someone's calling long distance and they're like, "Hey, I need this number because I can't call long distance, but I can call you and you can put me through to whoever." I
Yeah,
don't know.
maybe something
Mhm.
like that. I don't know. I have no idea.
Young people problems, I guess. I don't
Right?
know.
Millennial problems. Fucking
Millennial.
millennials doesn't know what a switchboard is.
We know the general concept.
Yeah. Some lady sits there with headphones on and fucking just this.
Tee, tee, tee.
Yeah.
Um. Okay, so also they did a camera shot, like a single shot from I think the basketball game. No, it was from Faye, all the way through the town, going through all the streets, through the woods, and then to the basketball game, showing how far away everybody is from her. Like she's there alone. I
That freaked
can't
me
remember
out.
how. Yeah, that freaked me out. I'm like, oh, I don't like the idea of that really dark, quiet, nothing going on in town, and her by herself. Like that's just setting you up for a serial killer
I
or
know. That's
something.
what I was thinking. I was like, no, girl. She was fine. I mean, she had the door open, I think, for most of it.
Yeah. She, uh, she get a
Oh,
little
yeah,
cigarette,
yeah.
which I didn't think she would do, but she did.
I
You
didn't
go,
either.
girl.
But earlier she was like, I don't want a cigarette. I'm just gonna hold it. And then
Right,
later
and
she's
then
like,
she
she doesn't want people to
she's on
see
her
her.
break.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, like I said, here's the first big thing is they get a caller who can talk about that noise.
Yes.
Do you wanna talk about that? I
Yes,
have,
I
like,
would
a
love
ton of notes,
to.
but go for it.
I'll just describe it and then I'll let you
Go
take over. I don't have any notes, but
ahead. Okay.
his name was Billy, right? The
Yeah.
name he gave anyway. So
Yeah.
this man calls in. He says, "My name is Billy. I think I can explain that noise to you, or at least it might be an interesting story." And um, at this point, or like a little bit before, she's like, "Are you gonna get in trouble for putting this on the air?" And he's like, "I don't care. It's good radio. I'll get a job at a better place if I can get this right." And so that's the motivation for him trying to like play this on the air, kind of. And I think
Mhm.
he's interested as well because he's into
Yeah.
radio. But so they play the clip, and the guy calls in and starts to explain that he used to be in the army, and that there was several times where he and others would get woken up in the middle of the night and shipped off somewhere they don't know where, and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing, and they were told to do things without being told what it did, so they had no idea
Okay. Or what it was for.
what it was for. Yeah, exactly what it was for, like what was the context. All he knew was that he was on a plane, I think, for an hour. They got off the plane, they were in a warehouse, and he saw something under a tarp. What you got there, girl?
Sorry, I had, like, a weird hair, like, on my glasses. I couldn't
Like an eyelash?
what it was.
Oh.
Doody 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 doody. Just kidding.
Carpet. Elvis's carpet.
A little piece of I was about to say Elvis's.
Elvis.
Albus Dumbledore's carpet. Not
Oh, wait.
Elvis.
So I like how everyone had landlines. The landline would have a socket at the switchboard. When you called the switchboard and told, sorry, hold on, I gotta pull it up. Told you wanted to connect, they'd find that particular socket, plug it in a patch cord so you could talk to the person. Okay, that's kind of what we thought.
Mm.
I feel like we were heading that direction. Thank you, Savannah. Landline would socket at a switchboard. Yeah, she was putting the thingies in the thingies, thingies in the sockets.
The thingies in the sockets, you know them. Back of the day,
I'm good
the
at that.
50s.
I mean, that I can do.
Jeez.
But yeah. So Lisa, what kind of notes do you have about this situation? He was basically saying that he thinks that the sound that he played on the radio was connected to these secret operations that the military had going.
Right.
Lisa.
So he said the first time he heard it was as they were leaving. They got back on this bus, went to the airport, or not airport, but the airstrip, got on a plane, and they said they could hear that noise on the plane's radios.
Mm-hmm.
And something else that was kind of creepy to me. As they were taking off, he said they saw men out there with brooms sweeping over the landing strip, covering it with dirt or sand and I was supposed to say manure, but just covering it up to basically erase that anyone had been there.
Yes, that was creepy to me too. That stuck with me, and I missed the next couple lines because I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he said when he got back, he noticed that he was getting sick.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Well, maybe it had something to do with, like, some kinda radiation or something like that," but he said he also spoke to a few other guys, like, they ended up seeing each other again, I think, at the military hospital, and said, "Hey, remember when we did that thing, that weird bunker we built, essentially? Did you get sick?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got really sick." And, a few of the other people they ended up getting back to, like, in touch with, they're like, "Yep, we all got sick."
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys said he had done another project similar to that, where I think they went somewhere near a river, was it like the Colorado River or something? And these two boats had pieces of something on it that they dropped off on land, and two army vehicles loaded them up. And as it was leaving, he could hear that weird noise. And as they got further away, the noise dissipated. So
It was connected. Yeah.
it
He
was
was starting
connected.
to
So he
feel
had
like.
Yes, so it's not
Mm.
like he only heard it once in his life ever, he's heard it before, and I don't know if it's the same guy or another guy that they had kept in touch with, but he was like an amateur, not amateur, but he was like a what, radar? Did he do radar? Something like
Radar.
that, but anyways,
Yeah.
he was able to, over years, capture that sound again, and he recorded it, copied it, and put it on different, tapes, I guess, and sent it to each of the guys, like, so they all had a copy of it in case they ever needed it for some reason. And Billy says, like, I didn't keep my copy. I destroyed it. I didn't want to be caught with it.
Yeah, he was scared. He didn't even want he was like, "I don't know if I should even be telling you guys this."
Right. Um, oh, also, I thought it was interesting that he brought up, he's like, by the way, it was only Black men and Mexican men that they had
Yeah.
do these jobs, and they were like, "Well, why do you think that is?" And he's like, "Because no one would listen to us if we complained or tried to bring something to someone's attention. They're not gonna listen to us." So,
Yeah. Yeah. He even felt like while he was
mhm,
talking to oh god, what was that kid's name? Emmett?
mhm, Everett.
Everett, thank you.
Mhm,
He was talking to Everett and he's like, "I'm sorry, I should have told you at the beginning that I was a black
mhm,
guy.
mhm.
Is that a problem?" And I was like, "God
That's so
damn.
sad that you
That's
had
so
that they would have to
sad."
even ask that, like, would
Yeah.
if Everett had been a worse person, he could have been like, "You know what? I'm gonna dump all this. I shouldn't be talking to you." Like,
I can't
but
put you on the
yeah,
air. Oh my
right.
god.
No, Everett was like, "That does not matter, not to me."
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
he said, "I don't think it's a problem."
yeah.
Oh man,
Mhm.
and it was very sad. It was like they were being the minorities were being exploited by the army in the
Mhm.
movie. I'm sure in real life too, though.
Mhm.
That
But yeah, Savannah says also would have probably been considered more dispensable.
oh
Absolutely. I
yeah,
could see that being like
they don't care that they get radiation
mhm,
poisoning because it's like oh, it's just these guys. Nobody cares about them.
mhm.
Oh,
Right, which is
heartbreaking.
insanely sad. Um, and shout out to that guy for making copies. That's right, Savannah. Good,
More
good.
paranormal
And
people should be like that.
let's send copies everywhere.
Hmm.
And then yeah, so Billy says he destroyed his copy, but he's like, "But hey, there's a guy that lives in your town that should have a
Hmm.
copy." And they're like, "Oh, he died." And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, do you know
Hmm.
if his kids maybe took a tape or took the tape?" And they're like, this just happens to be so perfect that the kids donated all the tapes to the school library,
Yes,
which Faye's like, I can get into. No one's watching it. I have a key to the school. Like, I can get in and get that tape.
she sneaks right over and does it.
She sure does. She sneaks. I love. He's like, Faye, run. And she like, do you see her take off home to get the keys, get on her bike, go get the tapes. They bring back all the tapes and they start listening, and then the power goes out.
They
Remember
find it.
that?
Yeah,
They
they
find
find
yeah,
it.
they find the tape. They have to get through a few first, but they find it.
They have military evidence just sitting in a public library. Exactly. They didn't know what it was. They said that the people at the library hadn't even listened to the tapes yet. They were just in a box because they were like,
Yeah,
we don't know what to do with them.
yeah, they hadn't even gotten around to it, but, I mean, good for the story that they
Yeah.
were there and easily accessible, and
Accessible.
accessible. Um, but yeah, so power goes out. Faye's like, "Oh, crap, I should be at the switchboard. Something's
Hmm.
happening. This is weird." They go to the switchboard, and tons of people are calling now saying, "There is something in the sky."
Oh my God. This is where I started to get really scared. It's a suspenseful movie anyway. They were really good at building that suspense. And at this point, I know they had already mentioned very briefly something about there's things in the sky. They said that the radar guy could prove that the sounds were coming from the sky and also from places where at that time they didn't have a vehicle that could take people up there. That was before like satellites, that was before going on the moon. So that was the freaky part where they were like, there shouldn't be anything up there. We don't know what this frequency is, and that was the
Yeah.
radar guy. So, you could, that was like, oh shit, this is starting to get real. And then people calling in to the phone lines and being like, I see things in the sky. Oh, I started to freak out. That's, I don't like ET.
Mhm.
That's my scariest movie of all time. So it's like anything to do with aliens, I start to get a little like, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And, so they're getting all these reports, and then finally, I guess outside there were these, like this young couple in a car. They get out and they're like, "Yeah, we saw." Did they say they saw something?
Yes, they had followed something at like 80
That's
miles
right.
an hour trying to keep up with it.
Exact. Okay, that's right. They did see something. Anyways, somebody calls into the switchboard and she's like, "Hey, this is for the radio DJ." And so Everett, that was an
Mm,
issue on the
sorry.
show, remember? No, it's okay. Everett takes the call and this lady's like, "Hey, I can add more to that story. I can back it up. But you have to come to my house. Like, I don't want to talk about it on the radio. I need you to come." And they're like, "Okay." So I guess she wasn't that far away. Everett and Faye take his tape recorder. I guess he grabbed one of his good ones.
And she got offended.
Yeah, well, and she's like, "So is mine not good?" He's like, "No, yours is more like a toy." I'm not
You
trying to
gotta
offend you. I make girls cry. She's like, "I'm not offended." He's like, "I've been known to make girls cry." And she's like, "Well, if you weren't such a dick, you know."
It
I
was
thought that
so
was pretty funny.
funny. Oh, what's that? Is that another one?
No, it is a sparkling water.
Oh, that's not as fun. Did you finish your wine?
No, but I needed something. My mouth's starting to dry out.
Oh, dehydrated.
Yes,
Hmm.
I need to rehydrate. So, okay, so this is the next big part to me is they go to this lady. So I'm like, okay, story number 2. This lady's gonna back it up. Back it up.
Yeah, she said
Like,
she heard Billy on the radio
uh-huh.
and she says, I don't have anything, I have something similar. Like it's not the
Mhm.
same thing. And I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. And as soon can I tell this part a little bit?
Yes, yes, take it over. Go.
As soon as they walk into her house, it's all dark. She's already told them she can't really walk, so she tells them where the key is so they can kind of sneak in or at least get
Mhm.
in by themselves because she can't get up to open the door. And
Right.
so they're walking in this house. It's dark. She didn't have a lot of lights on, and she says, "Come in," and then she starts chanting in another language, and I don't. It doesn't sound familiar. I don't think it's an actual language on Earth. Spoiler.
No.
But
And I see that you might want to watch this. Now I feel really bad because we're gonna go through the whole thing and
yeah, Savannah, I
give it away.
understand if
So
you want to be like mute us or something for a little bit if you don't want spoilers. It is a
tell
good
you what,
movie.
if you want, when we're done, we'll go. That'll be like our code word that we're
Yeah,
done. Okay, I'll
yeah.
go.
So you can unmute us.
You can unmute us at that point. I don't think we'll be too much longer on this topic, but I just had to discuss this with somebody because
Me
I love this
too.
movie. Sorry,
We're getting
spoiler
through
alert. I
it
love this.
pretty quick. I'll forget the whole plot. Okay, I get it. I'm like that too. I'm like, I heard that was good. Someone would just explain the whole movie to me and I've forgotten. So let's watch it. Yeah, I'm the same
Okay,
way.
cool. Then I don't feel too bad. But
But
if anyone else is listening and they don't want spoilers, mute us, and
we
I will
will.
still.
We'll
You'll know.
yeah, we'll do some things.
We'll do some things and stuff.
I'll try not to flash, but if I have to, I will. I'll get kicked out
Okay,
of Twitch, but
we'll do it for you.
some things are worth
Um,
it. Now, they go into this house and this old lady's sitting there. She apologizes for reading that thing because she knew it would freak them out. So that freaked me out because I was like, oh, who is this bitch? I am scared of old ladies sometimes.
I mean, old ladies chanting in the dark, that's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. And her being like, I know, I'm sorry that I scared you. I was like, oh, shut up. Oh my God. She's going to kill them.
You say like I'm not a witch or something like
Yeah. She
that.
said, I'm not a
Like,
witch.
oh,
Like,
good, thanks. I'm
just what
glad.
a
That's
witch
exactly
would
what a witch
say.
would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
they sit down, they start recording her, and she says she needs to tell her story. And she tells them about how she had a son out of wedlock. So it was kind of, she lost favor in town. She kind of lost her, nobody wanted to help her out because it was a unwed mother situation. And she said her son started acting funny at 10 months old. He would wake up or not wake up, he would just start talking while he was asleep and he would say these weird words that she had chanted before she started telling the story.
Right. Oh, just one little thing in front of that to make a little more sense is she talks about when she was younger, there was like a train that came through town that
Oh
like
my
stalled,
God.
and then all the people disappeared
Yeah.
except for one girl who was like mute, like she wouldn't talk. She was like traumatized, dehydrated, and the family that this lady lived with also took in this young woman who had been through all this, and she would be saying these words in her sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So that's where
so
she knew it from. Yeah, thank you. I
right.
forgot all about that.
No, no, you're fine. You're fine. That's why I keep notes.
Good. That's smart.
Not to be a snob or anything, but I was like, because I would have forgotten that part
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's like I did watch it today, but that's cute, Savannah. Little kissy face.
But
But
go ahead.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So she recognized this weird language that she had heard before once her son started talking like that. She took him to doctors out of town, in town, and everyone was just like, it's he's fine. He's a baby. Don't worry about it. Stop thinking
And
about it.
they honestly kind of were like, "Don't tell anyone about this because it makes you
Yeah.
sound crazy." So she's like, "Crap, I feel like kind of crazy now." Like,
Yeah. Yeah, she was
but
like, "Oh shit, I guess I won't be telling anybody about this anymore."
mm-mm,
And she just kind of whatever. And she said every once in a while he would just say that either in his sleep or when he was awake. At
he would
one
fix it
point,
on weird things or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, he would fixate on stuff. Oh, you okay?
Burping.
You're excused.
Thank you.
Doctors gaslighting patients? That never happens.
Never.
And never. But anyway, yeah, so at one point they have this weird tornado outside and it felt very strange, like there was something out there. And she said her son started acting very funny. And couldn't they hear that like weird frequency sound that had been coming through the radio?
Can't remember if she heard it at that point or not.
Okay. I don't
I don't
remember
remember.
either. They either heard that or they heard something weird, and her son just started staring outside, and the two of them she started speaking the weird language because she had written it down when her son would just say it over and over and over,
Mhm.
and it made him start talking.
Yeah,
I kind of wish they showed that part like in a flashback, but
that
also
would have been cool. But it's also very creepy just hearing the
yes,
story.
and not
Yeah.
seeing it and having to
Mhm.
imagine it. Yeah, that was creepy. But yeah. Ooh.
And then what happens?
And then what happens is I don't remember. Go ahead.
So, when he reaches about 9 years old, uh, I think I think it started getting windy again that day. I think it was at night, and she said he walked outside and then was gone, just disappeared. And she said she lived out on land like all by herself, and she followed his footprints to a point, and then they just disappear.
Yeah, she said
And she's
that
like,
she was convinced that he'd been taken by whatever was up in the sky.
"Yes, he had been yeeted up by people in the sky, Savannah."
Yeet.
Yeet.
He got yeeted.
Got yeeted straight up. Yeet me up, Scotty.
That's the name of this episode.
Yeet me up. That's right. So, so Faye and Everett are listening to this, and Faye seems to believe it. Everett's kind of like,
He seems
and
a little freaked out though.
he seems freaked out and apprehensive about the whole thing. And he's like, "So, did they do an investigation?" And she's like, "Yeah, they investigated me. They thought I had murdered him." And I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
like that's okay." And but she's like, "I just he was never found, and they have him. The people up in the sky have him."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And
And then she says, I understand you have to leave.
mhm.
I have one request. Can you take me with you? I want to see these people in the sky because I know they have my son and I want to see my
And I
son.
want to go. Yeah, she's like, I want to go, and like I want to go with the ship, essentially the spaceship or whatever, the craft,
Yeah.
to be with him, because she's like, I know he's alive and he's up there and they have him. Like, I want to. And a part of me thought Everett was gonna be like, "All right, I'll carry you. I'll put you in the car
Yeah.
or whatever." But he was like, "Let's go, Faye. This lady's off her rocker."
I know. I was so surprised and offended. I was like, that poor woman just told you her
I
whole
know,
life story. Never told
I
anyone
know.
before.
Exactly. And also, she's like, "Before you go," she starts to hand them a piece of paper. She's like, "Here are the words." She's like, "Read them to someone tonight and see what happens." And I was like, is she gonna take it? Like, are they gonna take it from her? And they walk out without taking the paper because I see her sitting there as they walk out with the paper. She still has the paper in her hand. I'm like, okay,
They
they're
didn't
not
even
taking
say
it.
anything. I was like, bitches, at least be like, you know what? That's okay. We're just gonna go.
All right, Xeraxia, thanks for hanging out.
See you later. We might pop in. We might host you.
Yeah.
Raid.
All right. All right.
Mhm.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, Saraxia.
So, so as we go through, let me see. So yeah, so they go back in near the back where Faye works at the switchboard
Mhm.
operator office. And they run their those two people that they kind of met earlier were still there and um
It's there. We've seen it
they're
in the
like, "Yeah,
sky.
yeah, get in the car, like, get in the car." So they all get in the car. Oh, sidetrack. For what, what's her name? Faye knows that her sister's being babysat. So she runs home, grabs her sister, and
The
then goes to her
babysitter's
friend's.
gone.
Yeah, the babysitter's gone. It's her cousin or something like that. And the cousin's like, "Well, there was something in the sky. That boy came over. There was a boy that came over, and we went up on his roof to see this thing." Anyways, she's like, "Whatever." She grabs her sister. She goes to her friend's house, gets a camera
Yeah.
from her friend. And they get back in the car with these people that are going to take them to see whatever there is to see. So
Hmm.
it's the couple in the front seat. Everett, Faye, and I think it's Maddie is the little baby. I think she's maybe a year old.
Not old. Yeah. Very
Not
like a
very old.
toddler. She's holding her the
Very
whole time.
Mhm. And, they're like, "Yeah, we talked to this lady. It was totally weird. There was this weird, like, chant she was doing."
No,
So
Lisa, can I?
sorry. Yo,
I
go,
have a
go, go. I'm sorry.
question. I have a
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
These people show up. Let's say you know them, because this seemed like a stranger situation, and I'm like, I wouldn't jump in a car with a stranger. But if someone
No.
you knew pulled up and said, "We've just seen a UFO, flying saucer, whatever, in the sky. Let's go see it. Do you want to jump in?" Do you jump in, or do you say, "No, thank you"?
That's really tough. It depends on who it is
Mm,
and where we're going to see
me.
it.
I'm like
Okay.
pulling in. I'm like, "Girl, I just saw the craziest thing. Jump in. We're gonna go see it." And
Yes,
it's like
bitch, I get in the
in the
car with you.
field. Okay. All right. All right. I'm just wondering because that's a scary question.
That is, but also it seems like I don't know what Everett's situation is. I don't know if he lives by himself at
Mm,
home with his parents, the girlfriend. I don't know what's going on with him, but it's very clear and it's brought up that Faye, her mom works nights too,
no
and
dad.
she says she has no dad, which I don't know if he died, ran off.
She
I
didn't
have
know
a
who he
feeling he
was.
just ran. Or, yeah,
Yeah.
I have a feeling he ran off when she was really young and she doesn't know about her dad. Then I kind of wonder where Maddie came from, unless
Yeah,
I
maybe
don't know.
he died recent. They didn't say. They did not say
They
what happened to their dad.
were so basically it's just her and her mom, and I feel like she's very into not into, but like very responsible for her sister, her little baby
Mm.
sister.
It did
So
seem like that, and she was very worried about her all night. She kept calling and trying to get a hold of the babysitter.
trying to check up. Um, But yes, if it were you, yeah, I'd get in the car. I'd call Kyle and be like, "Hey, I'm getting the car with Paige. We're gonna go check out the UFO. So if anything
We'll be in the
happens,
field over here, whatever.
I will. If I'm not on the ground, I've been yeeted up. So
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, if you see my footsteps and they disappear after a minute, I went up.
Mhm. Sure, I'm fine. Do you want to take over what happens in the car?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's
That was
real
the next
freaky.
scary thing. Yeah, that was the next scary thing.
Yes. Oh my God. I was freaking out from the point they said something in the sky, and this point made it even worse. It was kind of like didn't you think it was reminding you of Fourth Kind a little bit?
Yes, this part.
Yeah,
Yes,
this part
absolutely.
specifically. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what happens is that they're talking about what happened with this old lady. They're in the back seat of this car. There's a couple up front, and they say, "Here, this is what she said." And they rewind the tape and they start playing the old lady talking in that weird alien language, chanting something, whatever it is. And the couple in front start to get hypnotized or something, like their heads start rolling back. It looks like they're not paying attention. Even the person driving.
The old lady had said is like when she started doing that, chant to her son, he would tilt his head back and look to the sky. And all of a sudden, when they're playing this back, the couple up front start tilting their heads, and I'm like, "Oh my
I
god,
know, I freaked out so hard. I was like,
no!"
no, 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 no. It's gonna work audibly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's real freaky, Savannah. I hope you like it when you watch it. But so there's a oncoming car, of course, because they're in the middle of traffic, and they veer off the side of the road. Luckily, nobody gets hit. And then
Couple snaps out of it, and they're like, "I'm sorry, get back in the car. We'll drive you back. I'm sorry. Like, it's
they're like,
cool." Like,
oh, oh, I'm sorry. The girl freaks out. She gets out of the car and just starts running with her little sister because she's like,
yeah,
that was dangerous.
hmm
But
yeah, I wouldn't want to be back in the car with those people either if they just about like killed me and everybody I know.
no, yeah, I'm gonna be a little, and especially knowing that it came from the chant, I would be freaking out too, man.
Yes. Because I
Oh,
mean, the lady specifically said when she was trying to hand them the paper, like, "Read this and see what happens."
yeah.
And they played the chant, and then
And look
something
what
happened, like,
happened.
that's extra scary.
Yeah. Oh my God, man, that was so freaky. So yeah, yeah, they get out of the car. He has to follow her because he wants to figure out if she's okay. Do you want to see what happened? You take over from here.
No, 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 you go for it, Paige.
Okay, okay. So he catches up with her. He's got the record. He's still got everything, all the equipment wrapped around him because I don't know. They're still trying to find what's going on. They get into the middle of the forest where there's a bunch of trees, and he finds burn marks, fresh, recent burn marks on trees, on sticks. It looks like maybe something has landed there. They don't say
Fresh,
specifically. Something fresh. And yeah, they show on the tree there's like still
still burning,
burning,
like, still, like,
still
burning
smoking. You see the
and glowing.
cinders. Yeah, the glowing cinders on the tree. That freaked me out. I was like, it was just there. It was just there.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, and I don't think I caught it the first time I watched it, but I caught it this time, is when they look up where the trees should have been probably covering, there's a perfect circle where something circular, like the craft came down. That's when they're looking up and they can see. I don't think they were in a clearing. I think it's the trees had been burned away,
Something
and that
landed.
specific, yeah, where it had landed. Yeah.
Oh God. No, I didn't notice that. I was freaking out too much. And I did.
You're,
I
you're
started.
focused on the burning tree, not the top of the trees being gone.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be here. Let's leave the forest. I had the blanket. I had a blanket on around me, going, "Oh God," all by myself, just talking to the TV, like, "Don't do it." Everyone's secretly a sleeper agent. Yeah, exactly, Savannah. They've got that sound that'll wake them up.
Ooh. And I also wanted to point out, sorry, before we end this,
Please, yeah.
that the old lady, like, she gave her opinion of what these people in the sky
Oh, please,
are
yeah, yeah.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I forgot about that. It was somewhere in my notes, but I kind of skipped over it. So the old lady is like, look, here's my thoughts. At the best, these people in the sky are basically sending humans on errands, making them do things. And she's like, and at the worst, trying to remember what she said exactly. At the worst, they
I'm gonna
okay,
turn on a different light. I'll be right back.
no, you're fine. She says at the worst, they make you go crazy. They cause people to want to go to war. And she's like, they do this because they want you paying attention to things on Earth, not things in the sky. They're like, keep your attention on being selfish, self-centered, each other. Like while you're dressing up for other people to go to parties, you're
Mm-hmm.
not paying attention to what's going on up there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes. Do you want that? Freaked me the fuck out.
yeah, sending people on errands. And then remember, what was that one movie we watched with the fourth kind?
Oh, Dark Skies,
Dark
right?
Skies. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah, Dark
Mm.
Skies. And that made me think about, remember, there were several times where people were just like frozen solid, or they would do weird things like the lady started banging
Yeah.
her head.
Yes.
Remember that? That movie
Yes.
freaks me out too.
The lost
So,
time. It's like, what were you
yeah,
doing in that lost time?
exactly. So,
So
yeah, so she's
scary.
like, yeah, at the best, they're just sending us on errands to do random things. At the worst, they are causing us to create wars and
Conflicts.
violence
Yeah.
and then taking some of us.
Yes, like her son.
Like your son.
You know what this reminded me of, Lisa, so much was the Injured Cold episode that we did, where he was talking about how people would think that they're going and getting abducted, but that their body might be staying on Earth and they're dreaming that. But what is their body doing? And he thought that they would go out and do errands. I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh,
That's right.
God. I don't like it. Scary.
That's right. Um, oh, and thank you, Savannah, because you when you said the sleeper agent thing, that made me think about how the aliens might be
Right.
sending us on like
Sleeper
errands and
agents.
to do things. Yeah. So that thanks. That reminded me of that one part. So that's cool.
It's just like a
Um,
sleeper agent.
I know. So anywho,
So they're looking in this clearing, the trees are a little burned, and then they start to see a light in the distance. Is that right at this point? I think they leave the forest. They get into a big clearing because they're freaking out, trying to see the
mhm.
sky better, and they see a light in the distance. And from there, Lisa,
From there, you see one craft kind of further away, and they're focusing on that, and then they realize there's one like right above them, and then the wind kicks up, and then
tornado style. Yeah, exactly.
tornado style, and it kind of like zooms in on them, like like not panorama, but like getting real close on them, and then it cuts over to the high school basketball game, and everybody's like coming out, getting into their cars, and then it clips back, and all you see in the clearing is the recording device.
It's covered in like weird dusty sand.
Like it had been kicked up from somewhere
Hmm.
somehow, it'd been kicked up and kind of slightly covered. Not 100%, but yeah.
Yeah, but you could tell it had gotten covered in something.
Yes.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
And
Yeah,
then
they're
it,
gone.
yeah, exactly. And oh, there was one more thing. It keeps off my head and I keep forgetting because I keep talking. Um, shit, I don't think I wrote it down either.
About the movie?
Yeah, something that happened and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I don't know. I can't remember.
Well, I was just
Anywho,
thinking about that because something that happened that we didn't talk about was
mhm.
that I think it was the old lady that was talking about her son. She also mentioned that they only show up on nights when they only go to small towns and they only show
Yes,
up on nights when everybody is in the same place, like in the basketball
yes,
game.
because
They
they want to
go
get people
they want
alone.
to get people alone. Yep.
Yes,
Yep. So
that's what I was thinking too. Thank you for remembering that, because that was the thing I was like, "What was it? What was it?" Yes.
same.
She mentioned she was like, "They like these areas, like, like" and think about it, like Roswell and stuff
Yeah.
like that,
Out in
like
the
out in
middle
New
of
Mexico.
nowhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, they don't go to New York. I mean, as far as I know, I don't fucking know. I'm not in New York. They probably look up and see that, oh, it's another helicopter. They never even notice.
Exactly, exactly. So, so yeah, that's pretty much, and then it kinda goes back to feeling like the Twilight Zone, like you've just been watching it, and that's
And that's
it.
it. That's it.
You never see any kind of creature running around.
No.
You do get to see the spaceships. There's
In
2 of
detail,
them.
surprisingly.
Yeah, yeah, no, they looked really cool, and the music almost made it seem, like, so beautiful and magical, and I'm like, "No, this is, like, shit inducing."
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, if I saw this, I would be fainted or running.
I would have the runs, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have the runs. Exactly. That's not beautiful. It looked very mechanical to me. I was surprised at how, like, it looked like nuts and bolts literally on the bottom. It wasn't like a smooth craft. It looked mechanical, which is interesting
Mhm,
anyway, because they don't usually do that. They usually make them all smooth and space agey, like
mhm.
stainless steel, you
Well,
know.
this was the '50s, so
It
I'm
was
just
the
kidding.
50s. They didn't know yet.
They
They
didn't
didn't
have
know.
the aliens did not have that kinda technology like they do today.
They had to streamline better aerodynamics.
Yes, that's right.
At
Yes,
least
I do
so.
like it when they leave stuff to the imagination too.
Oh yeah, it makes it a little scarier.
So so that's the movie. Anything you wanna either add to the story, or do you wanna tell me what you thought of the movie?
I love the movie. I thought it was amazing, especially the long shots that you were talking about. How it was just continuous. And it would just
Mm,
it would pan over the town and talk, show the people and stuff like that. I love those continuous shots. It felt very real, very authentic to the time period.
mhm.
as far as I know. I wasn't there, but it didn't feel like a modern movie with some 50s cars in the background. I feel
Mhm.
like they got the setting right,
They did.
and the acting was really good. They felt authentic people. The way they were
Mhm.
talking to each other wasn't very believable. I was scared to death. They did a great job building that suspense. The whole movie, almost from the beginning. There was like a cuteness in the beginning with all the small town chit chat, but
Mhm.
yeah, as soon as they, got kicked into gear, it was scary. I was scared.
It's and I had told Paige, I'm like, "Hey, just so you know, there's not a lot of, like, action in this movie, there's a lot of talking, but the talking is the perfect thing to scare the crap out of you."
Yeah, yeah. And when you said that, I was gonna watch it anyway. I was like, I'm excited. I had already put it on my list before Lisa mentioned it, but when you said that, I was like, I have to watch this because I need to know what the fuck that means.
Exactly.
And
And,
it worked.
oh, for sure, and I loved that of the 2 people in the story or in the movie that had stories, there was Billy and then the old lady Mabel.
Mhm.
Um, Billy's was very believable, but then it wasn't so believable with Mabel, like, she was already kinda like the town nut anyway,
A shut in,
but
they called her. Like,
it's
she's a
the
shut
yeah,
in.
the shut-in, yeah, like, you know. So, I thought it was interesting that, they didn't really believe her story so much as they seemed to believe Billy's, and they're like, "Billy, we need you to back this up, like, do you have any kind of proof?" And he's like, "Well, we have these tapes, and these tapes were sent to different people, and they were able to verify it because they
Yeah.
had these tapes." With her, there was not really any way to, like, verify anything. It just kinda just sounded like an old quack lady.
Someone who
Not to
might
be
have killed
rude.
their son and was like, aliens took
Mhm.
him.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, totally. They didn't have any proof until they played her tape and those guys went to sleep. And then it was like, oh shit, she was at
Yeah.
least telling the truth about that.
At least, yeah, no, that
Woo.
was terrifying to
Yeah,
me, like, oh, I did not like that because I mean,
don't like that.
they were in the back seat, they were not in control, and then the
Mm-mm.
people driving just kinda like, "Nah."
Yeah, and she's got her little sister on her lap and she's screaming
Mhm.
like take the wheel and I was so pissed at him that he didn't just take the fucking wheel. They didn't
Yeah,
have seatbelts back then. He could have just reached up and grabbed it.
I guess, but I mean,
I'm sure he
yeah,
was
no, that's
freaking out, but
yeah, I mean, you can't blame him too much
no.
for
No.
I don't know
He's
what he
probably
did.
trying to turn the recording off and, maybe
Yeah, I
freaking out
think he
about that.
tried and it wouldn't turn off, and I think he finally got it off, and that's when they kinda came out of it, but
Oh
they're like,
god.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened," and
They're like, we know what happened. We're getting the fuck out of here.
exactly. We don't even know you guys. What the hell were we
No,
thinking?
I know. It was some heavy Mothman vibes. I know I never got to do an episode on the full Mothman, but there was
Mhm.
a lot of like people in their cars chasing Mothman, trying to go 80 miles an hour in their cars that couldn't go that fast, and Mothman out like, caught up to them or kept going and they weren't able to catch up.
Mhm.
And people seeing like lights in the sky and shit like that. I was just like, oh god, this is like all the scariest things for me.
Good, I'm glad you were scared.
Until I gotta be honest though, the
Mhm.
ending was not scary to me. The
Oh, just being them disappearing?
That part felt good. I liked that they made them disappear. It felt a little flat the way it
Agreed,
just
like
stopped.
mhm.
The action was just over and then it was the end of the movie.
Mhm.
I'm not saying they did a bad job, but I did not like the design of the spacecraft, which I guess I've already said. And that
Mhm.
kind of ruined the end for me because I was like, oh, now I know what they look like. Maybe would have preferred just some dark shadow going over them and not actually seeing the craft
Mhm.
itself. Maybe that's
Did that
what
feel
I would
kinda
have
cheap to
preferred.
you?
Maybe, yeah, maybe it cheapened it for me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, mystery solved. It's a spacecraft." Even though I knew it, it just maybe it was too real, too in focus. It was right there, like you said. You saw all these details about it. Maybe I would have preferred just a little more mystery. What do you think?
That didn't bother me, and I think the only thing that bothered me is just they were gone, and all you see is
Yeah.
the recorder in the sand or
Hmm.
whatever, in the dirt, and I mean, I know there this, I think, was a relatively short movie. I
It
think it was
was.
only like an hour and a half,
It
which is
didn't feel
good
long at
because
all.
No, it did not feel long. It felt like it kept going. And I'm glad. I don't think they could have stretched it out anymore. I don't think you, and I think in a movie like this, you don't want to see the aftermath of like people searching for them or wondering what
No.
happened or
Mm-mm.
this or that or the military coming in to
Mm.
like take things away. I
Or
think
them
it
being
ended
like,
really,
oh, they ran away or something, you know. I guess
yeah, I
the
was
two
like,
of them got out of town.
that's what I was thinking. Like that's probably what everyone just assumed. I mean, I think they did find Everett's car, just like doors
Oh,
open
they showed that.
outside of. Yeah,
Hmm.
so it's like if they ran, I don't know whose car they got into. I mean, obviously they can get into anybody's car,
True.
but yeah, I figured the whole town would be like they ran off together. They took the little girl and ran off, and they're just gonna start their own little family. But
Yeah, they were sick of being in this small town. We knew they wanted bigger things. That's what I assumed too. Yeah.
hmm but I mean, they ended it where they needed to end it. I just felt like there could have been something. I can't tell you what, so I don't blame them for ending it that way
Yeah.
because I can't give a better ending. Like,
Mm-mm.
what would work without making it feel like you explained too much?
Yeah, I
You know what I
didn't
mean?
need more explanation for sure. It was something just in the way that, I don't know. I agree with you. I don't know what they could have done better. Savannah says, do you think the people upstairs were controlling the behavior of the sharing of the language? So, like, the language was coming from the people upstairs? I do think so. Or that maybe it wasn't even a language, maybe it was more of a frequency, but she could speak it. She wrote it down in like English letters, so it was at least a sound that she could mimic.
Right. So it wasn't like her having to go whoa whoa bloop, bloop,
Yeah.
bloop, 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 like
Yeah.
because I mean you can't recreate that noise without having objects. You like a human mouth could not make those noises.
Mm-mm.
Um,
From the radio free thing that they played.
mhm,
I don't think humans could do that. But the language that the old lady spoke, yeah, I do think that came from the aliens on some
mhm,
level.
yeah. Um, yeah. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but
That's the beauty of the movie, I think, Savannah, is
yeah.
that it's like it's kind of unexplained. You kind of can infer a lot, but they
hmm
don't over explain things. You never see the creatures like Lisa said. I like that.
Yeah, me too. Because I think if they had made anything, it would have felt cheap. It would
Yes.
have felt weird and cheap. I don't want to see them on the spacecraft, like being ushered into like rooms to get
No.
probed or anything like that, or I didn't want them to somehow magically see the little boy of Mabel, like, on the ship, either grown or still a kid or
Yeah.
whatever, like, that would have just been too much, or seeing him come back to see his mom or something, like,
And I
I
didn't want to see them being beamed up. I didn't need to see
mm-mm,
that.
being yeeted up.
Seems like has an infectiousness about it. Like once the psyche has a built-in necessary to share with others. Yeah,
Possibly,
the
yeah.
words. Oh, interesting. That's what reminded me of Fourth Kind because that was a similar. Like they were speaking Sumerian, but
Mhm.
so scary, so scary. But
So, Paige, how many doll heads would you give this movie?
oh my god, man. I would have given it 10 out of 10, maybe 9.5 out of 10 just cuz like I said that one scene of the craft ruined
Mhm,
it for me.
mhm.
What about you?
I think I think the same just because I feel like there could have been a better ending,
Mhm.
but I can't give you what would have made it better for me.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I
So, I mean,
didn't
I
I don't know. Yeah.
like, there's only been a handful of things I think have had, like, the perfect ending.
Yeah.
So, like,
Endings are
I mean,
tough.
it's really hard. Endings are tough, especially in horror
Oh my
thrillers.
god, yes.
Like, you honestly cannot win, and I feel like that's the reason a lot of horror movies just don't get great reviews,
Yeah.
is because it's really hard to end them
Yeah,
in a
like how
way
do you
that's
end them?
satisfying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you really just can't, because like, it's all just feels either you have the super happy everything's fine ending, or the super happy everything's fine, but then something at the very end is like, he's still, like, still wrong, you're still in
Mhm.
the wrong universe or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, like the you thought you killed all the creatures, but there's one over here hiding and like
yes, like
like you were saying. Yeah. Yeah.
they tend to be very predictable, so like I said, there's only been a handful of things that I was like, "This is the perfect ending."
Oh, okay. Savannah saying do the head thing for those folks who might be muted. Yeah, I guess we're done. We no more spoilers. So if
Okay,
anybody's muted, if anyone
no more
happens
spoilers.
to want to come back,
Thank you for reminding us. Okay, we're
thanks,
all good
Savannah.
here.
Yeah, no more
Yeah,
spoilers.
no more spoilers, you can listen now. Okay, so,
Well, okay, so I can move on. There's another topic if you don't mind me jumping in.
No, no, no. Let's go.
So after I watched that movie, I was at my friend's house because she's out of town, and I'm just hanging out with her cat and watching the movie on her TV. And so afterwards, I went around, I cleaned up, I gave the cat food, whatever, did the chores, fed the turtle. You know, it took like half an hour to go through the house and do that kind of stuff. And by the end of it, I went over and I started petting her cat. And it's kind of a tragic story, but a month ago, the cat's brother died. And this cat's never lived without her brother. Like my friend got the two of them together when they were baby kittens. They've lived
Mhm.
with her this whole time. I think they're 11 or 12, something like that. And when the brother died, the same day, right before he was put to sleep, this cat had a stroke and she started walking around with her head like this. I saw the video of it. It's upsetting. Poor little kitty. She's walking fine now, but every once in a while her head will
Mhm.
just go like that. Like
Oh,
she is reverting or something for a minute, but she's mostly normal again. Oh yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you, Lisa. I didn't see that
mhm.
question.
You're
Um,
fine.
so anyway, I was petting her and I was feeling really sad about her and her brother and knowing she probably missed him. And then I've just got this like huge weight on me of like sadness. And I've felt that once before, and it was when I was in high school. Lisa might remember this time. It's kind of a heavy subject. I'm not going to get into it too much, but my dad got cancer and my cat got sick and died in the same year. And I remember seeing my dad and seeing my cat in the same room and just feeling this big weight on me like that, the same exact feeling. And I was like, oh God. And I didn't know what it was. And I was crying. And my mom's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I really don't know. Everything seems fine. So anyway, I
Mhm.
got that heavy feeling again. Not as bad. But anyway, I think maybe looking back on it, it was because of the cat. Like maybe I was feeling the cat's sadness, or
Mhm.
maybe she's not doing so well. I'm going to tell my friend, like, you know, maybe you should take her to the vet and see what was going on
Mhm.
with that stroke. They're only assuming it was a stroke. They don't actually know. So anyway,
Mhm.
but so I don't know about premonitions. I don't know if it's a true thing that people can do. I think maybe it is. I think that me and
Mhm.
Lisa have talked about this before on Dolls After Dark with like premonition dreams and things like
Oh
that.
yeah.
I've had some weird dreams that have come true, but it was like me staring at wallpaper and then I saw that wallpaper in real life, like the kind of weird stuff like that. Nothing
Mhm.
like, oh, avoid red shirts on Tuesdays, you know, it wasn't anything useful, but
Yeah.
um I did want to talk about this a little bit. I found something that says 6 signs that you might be psychic.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm going to read them out to you and then I want you to know to pick one if you want to hear more about it.
Okay.
You know the phone call is going to ring and who is calling. That's number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, you know your child or someone else very close to you is in trouble. Number 3, you know a place before you go to it. That was me with the wallpaper. Like I went
Mhm.
to see my aunt's new house and there was weird wallpaper. And I was like, I saw this in a dream. You have prophetic dreams. That's number 4. Number 5, you can sense or know something about an object or a person just by touching it. And the last one, number 6, you regularly tell your friends what is going to happen to them and then it comes true.
I think I can relate to all of them except for 5 and
Really?
6.
Okay, so the touching an object or
Mm-mm.
telling friends something is going to happen to them. I agree. I don't
Yeah.
have any experience with that.
Mhm.
Do you
But
want
the
to?
rest of them, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me about the like I'm always I feel like I always think about my sister Jen and then she calls and I'm like, Dude, I was just thinking about you." And one morning like we'll text every once in a while, but I don't usually text her in the morning 'cause she's getting the kids ready for school and whatever. One morning we text each other at the exact same time and it was so funny because as soon as mine went through, hers popped up and we're like, "Oh my god." And we do that like a lot at different times of the day. Not every day, but like a lot of times it's like, how are we doing this? I'm like, obviously we're sisters and we think about each other, but I mean, we can go like 2 or 3 weeks without talking, and then
Yeah,
boom, like one day we're like, psh.
that's awesome.
Anyways, yeah.
Oh,
I'm blurry. There we
oh,
go.
there it
Back
goes.
with
It
you.
came back. But is there any of those that you? I mean, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's like the phone call one. Do you want to hear more about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Please, please.
I have that once in a while, but I really don't get called that much. It's just like once in a while. Or it used to happen
Mhm.
more often when I had like a landline for some reason.
Mhm.
But you know who's going to ring and who is calling? This is a British website. We have all experienced this phenomenon, and when it happens once in a while, we can chop it up to coincidence. Like you were saying, it's you and your sister, and you guys might think alike for whatever
Mhm.
reason, but there also might be a little bit of a like psychic connection.
Mhm.
There are people who call at regular expected times, so of course you're going to know they're calling. Those
Mhm.
instances we can dismiss. But have you ever sensed a phone call from someone totally unexpected, like you haven't talked in weeks? Perhaps someone you haven't heard from in years?
Mhm.
Then the phone rings and it's that person. It could be an indication of a psychic phenomenon known as precognition, knowing something before it happens. And if this kind of thing happens on a fairly regular basis, you might be psychic.
You might be a psychic
You might be a
if no.
psychic if you can tell your sister's about to text.
That's right. Oh, what was the second one again?
Second one is you know your child or someone else is very in trouble, or is someone very close to you is in trouble.
Mhm.
Do you want to hear about that one?
Yeah.
Okay. We all worry about the safety of our loved ones, especially when they are separated from us. Quite naturally, parents can carry a deep concern about their children when they're at school, off with other children, or away on a trip. But we temper this worry or concern with reason and acknowledgement that our loved ones cannot always be under our supervision. There have been many cases, however, in which a parent knows that their child is injured or in trouble. This is no ordinary worry. The feeling is so intense and persistent that the parent is compelled to check on the child. And sure enough, there has been an accident. Such a psychic connection has been documented between parent and child, spouses and partners, siblings, and of course, twins. If
Mhm.
you've had such experience, you might be a psychic.
You might be a psychic. Yep, I've had that.
You get the dreams in the last one so much. Oh, what was the last one again? Let me see. The last one was you regularly tell your friends what's going to happen, and it does. Okay, so next time Savannah tells me something's going to happen, I'm going to watch out for it.
You better watch out.
Watch out for the man in the red jacket. I deck
You're only
somebody
here to
on the
sell
street.
I just wanted to sell you a timeshare.
Yeah, that's why they warned me about you.
They warned me you were coming.
Do you want to do prophetic dreams?
Yes, that's probably the one I have the most.
We talked about this. You've got some very interesting stories. We all dream, and we have a variety of dreams about people we know, famous people, perhaps things that are going on in the world. So it stands to reason that just by chance we will have a dream about someone or something that later comes to pass. And it says to one degree or another.
Mm-hmm.
But you often have dreams about yourself, friends and family, or even world events that soon come to pass in detail in real life. Prophetic dreams are like this and reported often different than normal dreams. They are more lucid, vivid, detailed, and compelling. If so, you should write down these dreams right after you have them because you don't want to forget them. And you want to have a good record of them that they can be evidence that you might be psychic.
You might be psychic.
You might be psychic, if. You know what? It's funny. I don't know if I mentioned this on the Dolls After Dark episode, but in middle school, me and my friends used to write down all our dreams together and like draw them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was fun. We nerds. And
Nerd.
yeah, fucking
Cute. I like
nerds. No, we had a great time. But my friend Christine Tran, who listens to the podcast,
Mm-hmm.
she wrote down one that I had, and it was that I was at a party with my brothers, and I was trying to convince them that I had killed somebody.
Mm.
And I woke up and I told all my friends about it because we already had this dream thing going on. And I was like, isn't that silly? Why would I do that? And we're like, yeah, that's so silly. Let's write it down. So we wrote it down. And then December of that same year, I went to Colorado to visit my brothers, and we played a murder mystery party where I tried to convince everyone that I had been the one, my character had been the one to kill the victim. I was wrong.
That's great.
But so I was like, I got back and I told them about it. I was like, you're not going to believe this. Remember that dream we wrote down? It happened exactly like that. I was talking to my brothers and I tried to convince them of this, and they were like, and that's when we stopped writing down our dreams. are, are you muted?
No.
No? Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said don't stop. I said don't stop writing down your dreams.
I know. I guess we just got freaked out. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was kind of freaky. It was like, what?
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times I've joked about a future scenario for a friend and it actually happens is scary. You might be a psychic.
You might be a psychic.
Here's your sign. It says
Here's your sign. Psychic sign. This might be a good time to do Savannah's dream
Oh,
interpretation.
there we go. There's Lisa's
A little segue.
psychic power.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure I have these in order. They're not quite in order as they're. Okay, that's 12:37, 12:46. Okay, I think we start with this one. Okay. Do 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 do. Okay, I'm gonna read, and then we'll discuss. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Cool with everyone?
of
Okay.
course.
All
Savannah
right.
says
So
it's the most vivid dream they've ever had in their life.
okay, cool. Had some really intense dreams that make me honestly wonder if I spoke to some ghosts. Ooh, okay. The first part of the ghost dream is kind of hard to explain, but my no longer friend from school brought me back to Quadring. I don't know what that means. Can you tell me what that means? Quadring, to show me there was a thing made in my honor there. I can't quite remember what it was, but she had taken me from school, which was actually my school, but there. Sorry, I'm getting tired, so it's hard for me to read. Um, but there she took me. But where she took me wasn't Quadring. It was a place by a river. And I'm wondering now if that thing was a memorial thing. Okay.
Mm.
But sorry, I have to switch back to see. Do. Okay, Quadring is the place you grew up. Okay. Okay, cool. But anyway, she took me. Cannot read today. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. But anyway, she then took me to stay over, I guess. And this is where the uneasiness started becoming apparent in everyone around me. And I was told if you see a certain group of girls, don't look at them, they'll hurt you for no reason.
Oh.
Okay. So I stay over and I don't know how to explain it, but even though I was in the house, it was like split so I could see outside into the neighbor's house, or maybe it was downstairs. Can't quite figure it out. Sarah told me to stay quiet and make sure the sisters don't see you. Okay, let me find the next one.
Savannah says, in your defense, it isn't well written because I wrote it as soon as I woke up.
No, that's fine. They'll hurt you for no reason. Okay, I think I found the next one. Sarah told me to stay quiet and make sure the sisters don't see you, so I did. I noticed in the rooms in the house there were these mannequins dressed in Victorian clothes with a bonnet and a shawl. There wasn't one in my room that I had seen anyway, but they always spooked me because I thought someone someone every time I walked into the rooms. So as I'm settling in for the night, I hear people pleading, and then I hear screaming and loud thuds, and then I think gunshots. I can't fully remember. I could tell they were coming from next door downstairs, and they must have been the sister Sarah and the people around me when I was outside had warned me about and were so scared of. I sit up and look over to the balcony window, and there's a mannequin there. Ugh! Okay, I got spooked because, again, I thought it was a person and had to calm myself down for a second, but then she moved. Okay, let me find the next one. That
Oh
was it.
my God.
12. Nope, not that one.
Loki says, when I was younger, I would have oddly correct dreams. I could predict when bad stuff was going to happen. Whew. Okay, I'll watch out for Savannah and Loki if you guys tell me something's going to happen.
Okay. Was not a person to calm myself down a second, and then she moved. Not scarily or anything, but still obviously spooked me. Can't quite remember what we talked about, but she started talking to me about what happened with her sisters, I think. I think I made a point of asking her if she'd like to talk about it, and I would listen, and she seemed really surprised by it. And she sat next to me and took my hand, and then the next thing I remember is being on the boat with an old man, and I think we were on a river, presumably a river that connected to a sea. And I think he mentioned the sisters in passing, but I can't quite remember. He started mostly mumbling to himself, "Eek, don't like that." And I remember him singing, and I wish I could remember what it was because it's something I've known I've never heard in my life.
Oh.
I looked to him and I said something like, "Would you like to tell me your story? I'd be happy to listen and remember." Okay, that's at 12:50. And he said something like, "I suppose it's all right as long as I talk about myself, meself." I don't know if it's myself or meself, and not them. That can be against the rules. And he started talking to me, singing every now and then a song, I guess, to ease his nerves. Okay. I also asked him if he'd like to hold my hand whilst we talk, because I know that connection can really matter and might soothe his anxiety.
Mhm.
And he again thought for a moment and he was like, "Yes, I'd like that. And it should be allowed as I'm only signaling." And this part, and it's this part that gets, next part that's what gets me. Okay. As we've been talking, I feel a sudden sense of being seen, like found out, or being looked at by someone who is powerful and disapproves of what I'm doing. And, in real life, when you're just living or whatever, there is always a kind of background noise, not in your house, but just like in life, I guess. And the only time you really hear it go away is when your ear gets the deaf thing that happens, or maybe just very rarely. Okay, let me find the
Mhm.
next one. 12:52. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to find the next one. It might be this one. Okay, there we go. Um, okay, well, once that feeling was on me, everything went dead silent and I was pulled awake. And my waking moments, even a few minutes after everything around me was dead silent, dead silent, with not even the life sound. And I had that feeling of something disapproving immensely. So I don't know, could just be a dream, but something tells me I was actually maybe trying to talk with the dead. I don't know. That guy in the boat was dressed like an old fisherman, and I think he was telling me about some of the war. I wish I could remember what he and the lady talked to me about. But the more I try to remember, the more it goes away. I really wish I could remember the song. Uh,
Mm.
I swear it was something that involved Jim and oranges. Okay.
That sounds great.
Uh, I think that was all of them. Okay.
Wow. Wow, Savannah.
Well, Savannah, that's a lot. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot of detail.
You might have
I
been
would
talking to a dead person.
You might have been talking to a dead person, so I don't know if I can interpret that necessarily. Um, hmm. The only like key thing I keep picking up is how you were, even though it seemed like you were scared of the mannequin person that came to life and wanted to talk, you were still very willing, even though you might have been a little frightened, to listen. And the same with the fisherman. You went out of your way to like comfort him to talk, like to get him comfortable enough to talk. Um, that kind of seems to be the major thing that I'm picking up is that y- you maybe you might have a relationship where you felt like you were better to other people than they were to you. I know you said something about like a former friend or an ex friend. Um, and I can't remember exactly where you said they came in, but I remember that sticking out. Like maybe not necessarily grieving for a lost relationship. I don't know what that was about, but maybe you felt like, you listen and you put yourself out there to be a good friend, and maybe you don't always reciprocate, or other people don't reciprocate, but you're at least acknowledging that you're willing, despite how you feel about certain things, to be a good friend and listen. Um,
That is
but
your
that
life, Savannah. Okay, Lisa's right on the nose.
so maybe, or I mean, it doesn't mean that you weren't talking to ghosts. I mean, there could have been anything that floated
Mhm.
into your dreams and was like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it kind of seemed out of nowhere. So maybe you were dreaming and then somehow
mhm,
you astral
you
projected
absolutely.
something like that.
Um,
I don't know. I
and
believe
then
in that stuff.
also,
I think it's cool.
and oh, for sure. And then also feeling like you were caught and being seen, not necessarily caught in a bad way, but being seen. Um, Maybe somebody has misinterpreted your good deeds, and it's made you self-conscious about maybe something you've done when you meant it to be something good and someone perceived it the wrong way, and you felt like, "Oh man, should I have done that?" Like guessing yourself for trying to show some kindness or be a good friend. So, I think that's all I
Wow.
have.
Wow, that's really sweet. Like, really,
Mhm.
look at you, Lisa. You're so good at this.
Dang, if you think so, maybe I need to start doing this on the side, be my
Hell
side
yeah.
hustle.
Yeah, be the
Um,
dream interpreter.
I am the dream interpreter. Um But yeah, I don't see why it couldn't be both, your own, deep thoughts and crossing paths with ghosts, like, it could totally be a thing, I don't know. Um
Anna said, read me for Phil. You've been read.
Um, but yeah, so that's all I got. Hopefully that resonated with you.
Man, Lisa, I gotta have a dream so I could tell you about it.
I'll tell you, like, I haven't been sleeping well, so my dreams are always very chaotic, and I don't seem to remember them as well as I used to. When I slept well, like as a teenager, I slept very well. I'd have very intense dreams and I would write them
Yeah.
down and I would remember them for like years to come. But now it's like I'm not sleeping great lately, and just between the dog and been having like leg pain. Very bizarre. I think it comes
No.
from sitting on the floor a lot with the dog and
Oh.
running around with her out in the backyard. We have kind of like little mini, like, I don't call them potholes in the backyard,
Yeah.
but
Potholes
there's
in the grass like she's been digging?
no, there's just the way the grass is naturally, I
Okay.
guess.
Okay.
Whenever they installed our grass, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a couple where if you I would run with her and then I'd fall, like my foot would hit kind of hard and it would like shift my hips. Anyways, so
Oof.
that's been an issue. Anyways, you don't want to hear about that. But excuse me. Um,
Yeah, I feel the same. I used to dream a lot more now. If I remember dreams now, they're all the fucking same. It's always about being lost in a hotel, being lost in an airport, or house sitting for my parents in a house that I haven't been in like 10, 15 years. So it's like great, same dreams. Whoop de doo.
do you ever okay, when you have dreams, are they first person, third person, or like you're not even in it? Like I've had dreams where it's like watching a movie that I'm not
Yes.
even in.
I've had a lot of dreams like that too. Yeah. Or like I'll
Okay.
I'll start off while I'm watching it as a movie and then suddenly I'm in it or something like that. Or
Mhm.
I transition slowly into third person, first person. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
all over the place. But lately with these stress dreams like being lost in a hotel or trying to find a public restroom and every toilet's either disgusting or doesn't work. That's another
That's
one.
real life.
I know
That's
that's
not a
just real
dream, that's
life.
real life.
Yeah. Yeah, that yes it is. But yeah, that those are mostly first person because it's just me being stressed out, walking around,
Mhm.
boring. Technically, like it's not a fun dream like I used to have.
Yeah, okay, so maybe TMI, but,
Mm,
like, when I was a virgin,
hell
I used to
yeah,
have sex dreams all the time.
me
Every dream,
too.
I was having sex with someone, and then after I lost my V card, I stopped having dreams about sex, and they're all about, like, dying, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
What? Your body's like,
I know.
okay, you've had sex now, you can die,
Maybe. I mean, I'd like to have sex a few more times before I
right?
kick the bucket, but I mean,
You're like,
I'm
there's
not
things
really
I
in
still
control of
want to
that.
try.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That sucks.
Yeah. Well, luckily they're not. I'm not dreaming of death that much anymore, but I'm definitely like not having much sex in my dreams.
Oh, me
It's because I'm
neither. Not
satisfied in real life.
all.
I don't need to dream about it. I get
Yeah,
it in real life,
exactly.
baby.
You got the D.
I-
You don't need it. Yeah, that's what I feel like too. I used to dream hardcore, and I would like wake up like not. I don't know if girls can have midnight emissions, but it felt like it.
You can
There's
have
my
a wet
TMI.
dream.
A wet dream. Yeah, it felt like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, one time I was sleeping on my brother's couch and I was like by myself in the living room. Nothing happened, but I was like, that's embarrassing. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Luckily nobody saw nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. I guess we're running out of time.
Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah, we'll have to do the game next week.
Yeah, let's do the game next week. That
Mhm.
sounds good. That was fun.
Yeah, that was super
Now
fun.
it's Savannah says, now it's a sleepover and the gossip is happening. Oh girl, I got the tea. I
Yeah,
got the
spill the tea. Truth or dare.
Mm-hmm. I thought about us playing that,
Me
but then I'm
too.
like, I wouldn't want to dare you to do anything like stupid or embarrassing or
And what would we? I mean, we'd have to. Yeah, it would
I don't
have to
know.
be like tell an embarrassing story or something. Because it's like, go run around naked in the street. I could just
Like,
leave the
yeah.
camera and be like, oh, I ran around naked.
Mhm. Oh my gosh, whenever I'd play Truth or Dare, I'd only want truth because I'm like, I'm not about to get up.
Yeah, exactly. That's
I'm
exactly
sitting
how it
right
is.
here.
It's like,
I will tell you anything, just don't make me move. I
don't
am
make
lazy.
me move. That's exactly how I felt as a kid. I was like, I know. I mean, you know, I'm not scared of doing those things. I just don't feel like getting up.
Yeah, pretty much that was like, I don't feel like getting up. Like, dare me to like stick out my tongue and touch my
Yeah.
nose.
Yeah,
There,
I'll do that.
done.
I'll do the twist. I'll do whatever embarrassing thing you want me to do right here. But if I have to
Hmm.
do something, I'm so lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, make me tell the most embarrassing story. I'll do that right now. But
Paige, I dare you to go get another snack for yourself. Anything you want.
it's the closest thing I had is water. It's not very fun.
There you go.
Thank you, though. Hey, Lisa, I dare you to have a good night tonight.
You bitch.
Double dog dare.
Shit. Yes. Yes. Having a
Now you
great
gotta
night.
do it.
Now I have to do it, which means I'm gonna go take a bath and go to bed soon. I'm crazy. You mean get to do our face masks? Oh shit.
We'll do
Okay,
that
we'll save
next
that for
time,
next
too.
time too. Yeah. And
The
I will be
scandal.
prepared with a good
Oh, yeah.
face mask.
Now you
not-
got
not this-
time.
and now I don't have to use a kitchen spatula to apply
That would
it.
have been so cute, though.
I'm gonna put it on like frosting.
Yeah.
Little sprinkles.
Ooh, that's probably good for the skin. I don't know.
I don't see why not. And a little buttercream, that fat will help.
Yeah.
I would say plump, but I don't really need a plump. or anything.
Firming.
Yeah.
You don't need firming.
I-
I don't know what we need. Clarifying
we
for
need-
me.
We need the cake or the pie from Mrs. Doubtfire. And put her face.
And it like starts dripping into the coffee.
The coffee. You do it to cream. Oh, anyway, here you
Two dollops.
go. One drop or two.
Yeah, oh, you got two. Oh my god. Oh, Robin Williams.
I know.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up. You can take my fever-induced nightmares too. No, thanks. I'm all right.
Send them over here. It's fine. Yeah.
I guess. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. We'll be back next week on Lisa's channel. Be sure to follow your Death Dolls _ Lisa. Here, let me do a little. She's in the chat, so you'll see it. But there you go. Follow them. Lisa's great. And we'll be back next week doing like what we didn't get to today. We've got a little game for Lisa to play and face masks. So if you guys want to come on in and feel free to send in any dreams that you guys have if you want Lisa to interpret them like she did today. We'd be happy to have them.
Yes, I like doing them.
Yeah,
and
it's so cool to see you do that because you just really pick out these things that I didn't hear and you got a good intuition about it. Lisa doesn't have like her dream dictionaries out. She's just pulling this out of her vast experience.
You're saying pulling them out of her vast ass.
Her vagina.
My vagina. Yeah, like I think the last time I did the dream interpretations, I barely looked at my
You did?
books.
Yeah, you didn't even pick them up, I don't think. You just
No,
showed them
I
on
think
camera. And then you were
yeah.
like, I know what these dreams are. Push the dictionaries out of the way. Don't need these.
Mhm.
Did
Right.
you guys
Oh,
want any film recs through the email? Yeah, or you could give them right
oh yeah.
now or on the Discord. I think you're on the Discord too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely. We
movie.
love movies. Did you see how much we gushed over that movie? We love movies.
I think
A
we
good
spent
movie.
over an hour talking about
Are
that
you
movie.
kidding?
I
Oh
mean,
my God, no wonder we ran out of time. That's
yeah, I was
hilarious.
like, well, we didn't really do much after, so there you go. But it was fun.
It
Like
was
I loved
fun.
it.
Oh, it's
We love
such a
doing
good
that kind of
movie.
stuff.
I haven't seen a
Mhm.
movie like that in a long time. Like a movie that I was like, oh my God, this is really good.
I was gonna ask you, did Sam watch it? Because I
Mm-mm.
wanted to know what he thought, because he is a critic.
He's hard to please. He's a little harder to please. Or he has
Yeah, I was
different
wondering
tastes,
about
I
this
should
one.
say.
He does, and he sees things differently than we would. So
He
I was
doesn't.
wondering, so if he does watch it, if he does get around to watching it, which I think you should.
He
Sam, watch it.
he just
I'd
heard the
like to
whole
know what he
movie. He's been spoiled. He
oh.
won't watch it now, I'm sure.
I just
I don't know if he would have liked it. I don't think he would
sorry.
have. He gets so annoyed when there's too much talking, and that was the whole movie.
That was
So
the whole movie.
I don't
Yeah, there
know if
was
he would like it.
talking. Okay, well, we saved you an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm glad I got to watch it without him. I kind of did that on purpose. He's back.
Okay. Okay. I was like, we just saved him an hour and a half, and then I was like, well, we talked about it for over an hour. So did we?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, he was playing Spelunky. He's fine.
Cool.
All right, Lisa. Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for
Thank
coming to my
you.
sleepover
Yes, next time we'll have a sleepover at my
at your
place.
place.
But next week I think we'll just do a regular stream, and
Hmm.
we may just happen to have face masks too.
And pajamas and
Pajamas. Yeah, and actually I think next week, I don't know if we haven't talked about it, but I think next week we may have to do
Mm,
Sunday
I'm fine with
evening.
that.
I have people in town.
Yeah, so Savannah, Loki, I don't know who else is hanging out next Sunday. Watch Lisa stream for us going live. Turn on notifications so you know when we pop up. Ooh, baby girl Alora, are you too late? Yeah, we're just about to stop, but thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna post this on YouTube, baby girl Alora, and we'd love to have you next week. We were just saying we might do Sunday next week, so.
But yes, this will be up on YouTube. I think most of our last few streams have been up on
Yes.
YouTube. So
Oh yeah,
you can.
but yeah. If you guys want to watch any of our streams from the last several weeks, we've got them on YouTube. Just search Near Death Dolls. It's Near Death Dolls channel, and we post them there. So
Yes, we do.
put them up on the background while you're working, whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Savannah, I see you. I hope you have a wonderful night. You too, Alora. Thank you, guys. Okay.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Oh, let's raid. Xeraxia. I believe Xeraxia is streaming.
I believe so too.
Xeraxia. Yep. Nope. Is it Xeraxia underscore or underscore Xeraxia? Let's see. It worked. Okay. All right, guys. We'll see you at Xeraxia's channel. Do whatever you want on the raid. And